Today I'm starting a video series. This week and the next 2 weeks I'm going to really focus on the vagus nerve. I'm going to start, as I always do, with the Earth Star chakra and activating it and getting it going. Doing a little adjustment. It felt a little tucked up to the collective energy body feet. There we go. So the vagus nerve is, vagus is spelled V-A-G-U-S. Not like Las Vegas, it's something different. And it is the, as I understand it, it's the longest nerve in the body. It's often called the wandering nerve because it starts right at the base of your skull, at the start of your spinal column. And it wraps around and sort of wraps around your neck, comes to your thyroid, but then branches off and touches every single organ in your body. So in that way, it really is the superconductor highway conduit channel that passes information both down from the brain to all of your bodily functions, but also it is in that same measure the collection point and conduit for collecting all the body intelligence and sending that back up to the brain. All right. All right. Everybody try and take a really nice big deep breath and inhale as fully as you can, and on your exhale make an audible sigh. So one of the things about making sound, vibratory sound from your body with your voice, is that it is the easiest way to promote vagal tone. So just as you would want muscles, your muscles to be toned, they work better and more efficiently when they are toned than when they are out of tone. The same is true with nerves. And there are many things that a person can do to promote vagal tone, but one of the easiest things is making sound. I mean, it doesn't matter if it's a pretty sound, it's just making sound. So if you know the Ujjayi breath, that sort of vibratory yogic breath, you can do that. You can do toning, you can sing, you can really imagine and try and up the resonance in your chest, even when you, just while you're speaking, to intentionally promote vagal tone throughout the day. Been really overcoming some technological challenges today in terms of getting this video made. It's interesting. So as I come around to the collective head, to the crown chakra, to the Earth Star chakra, which is in fact the chakra just above our heads. There we go. All right, so I'm going to do a little adjustment there. It feels a little tucked and tense So the vagus nerve is really responsible. It's not singularly responsible for all of our bodily functions per se, but it's the big, again, it's the conduit, it's the information carrier, and if it's severed or if it's underperforming, nothing's going to work right because the signals aren't getting carried and delivered with efficiency and effectiveness, efficacy. So on this first of the vagus series, I really just want to tap in to the vagus, to the collective vagus nerve. I want everybody to know they have a vagus nerve. The information that cycles through a lot of my online social media prompting and stuff, of course, has a lot of articles around vagus nerve and similar, because I'm in this line of work, but I didn't know I had a vagus nerve until shockingly recently. And I feel like it's something that isn't really discussed. And it's so hugely important, and it's such a heavy lifter in terms of our overall wellness that I feel until kind of recently it was largely in the dark. There we go. All right, so now that I've gotten the 2 points of the energy body activated, I'm going to drop in and really focus on the actual nerve. So when I do these videos and I work on a collective energy field, I work over an empty table. You don't have to have a physical body to have present, to have an energetic body present. I know it looks uncommon and sort of strange if you don't know much about energy work, but it's real, and I am in fact working on an energetic field. So because of filming and the camera angles and all the logistical stuff that I have to do this video, what I'm going to do is I'm actually, with my intention, going to swap the orientation of the energy body to do this next portion of the vagal tuning. So when I initially work on clients' vagus nerves, I like to start with my nerve fork, which is kind of a large fork, about 2 to 3 feet above my client's head, so that I can get at the inception point. I can really tap into the vagus nerve at its sort of origin point, if you will. So even though typically this orientation in my videos means that I'm working on the collective feet, I've in fact swapped the energy body and I'm coming in through the top of the energetic crown. Yeah, okay, wow. So the first thing that really strikes me is that as a collective, we are pretty significantly dehydrated. Much like muscles, nerves, tendons, all the tissues, every part of the body, whether it has capillaries and veins and arteries and stuff running through it or not, our bodies need fluid. And the amount of nerve information that's carried through the fascia system and all that, please hydrate. Have a sip of water and really imagine, once the delicious, cool, crisp, clean water goes into your mouth, as it gets distributed throughout the body, if you kind of change it from watery to almost like an oiliness, like a good kind of oily, like the sort of slick and smooth, perfectly lubricated consistency for ease of motion, just like a car wheel or a car piston. You wouldn't lubricate it with water because it would be too thin. You want oil. That's why they use motor oil, because it has the right viscosity for enduring ease of motion. And when you drink water, really imagine it translating from water in the mouth to this perfect emollient that runs through the whole body. Whew, and exhaustion. Okay, so we're a little dehydrated and we are profoundly under-rested. Which, if you can imagine a tight, dry, tired cable that's old and strung really, really tightly, it's not gonna, when plucked, it might actually snap and break rather than reverberate in a beautiful tone. There we go. So we just want to imagine the beginning of our vagus nerve Let's go back to that kind of audible exhale. Or really imagine, all right, so on your next inhale, inhale really deeply and fully, and on the exhale, close your lips and make the loudest, most vibraty, humming sound that you possibly can, and see if you can't get sort of your lips and gums to almost tickle with vibration. That made a lot of difference. All right, I feel like the vagal tone really just improved from the inception point. I'm going to go back through with a few other frequencies and really really support and strengthen that the tone that we just sent down. Nice. So now I'm going to swap the hologram of the energy body, and I'm putting the head back up at the top of the table and the feet down here. So now I'm going to return with my nerve fork, and I'm going to imagine tapping into the ends. So when the vagus nerve starts, it starts just like the trunk of a tree. It starts in one sort of trunk, or two trunks, I think. but then it quickly branches off many, many, many times over and makes many deltas and many forks as it branches through and touches on each one of the internal organs. And so when I access the vagus nerve through the top of the head, I really imagine at the inception point or points. When I come from the feet and the bottom, I almost imagine the vibrations off the end of the fork kind of doing like a shotgun and doing scatter shots and connecting in with the bottom ends of all the little forks that the vagus nerve has made in its journey through our interiority. And what's really striking me about the quality of the tone of the end, all this ends of the nerve, is that they feel really underpowered and yeah, just underpowered and like they aren't carrying the vibration all the way to the very end of the line. If you kind of think of it like a healthy strand of hair, when your hair starts up at the follicle, it's usually in pretty good shape, if not maybe even a little bit oily, and then as your hair gets longer, it often gets drier down at the bottom, and then sometimes the ends can split. Well, if you imagine the end of that piece of hair, if it's dry to the point of splitting, it's not a healthy strand of hair. You'd have to trim it up. Now, we don't want to cut the vagus nerves, but what we want to do is promote that health all the way through, from the top of the nerve fibers all the way through to the bottom of the nerve fibers. So with intention, we are connecting with the sound waves to the ends and sort of giving them support from the bottom up. And again, the more you drink, the more you rest, and the more you tone or vibrate in your throat, which is the inception point of the vagus nerve, that carries the tone through to the ends. Alright, so I'm now going to come back through on the ends of the nerves with a few different frequencies just to check in. Yeah, over the course of this series, we are going to focus on, over the next two videos, we're going to focus on the vagal tone every time. We'll see if it's improved. I really ask this week that you drink water. Everybody try and hydrate as best they can, and to rest a little bit and hum and sing and breathe as often as you can. And when we check in with the collective vagus nerves next week. Ooh, the 417, all right, this really helped. Those little nerve endings, all those little nerve endings really like that frequency. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and wrap up the energy body. I definitely ask that everybody breathe and hum and tone and sing and rest and have a glass of water at every opportunity you absolutely can. And let's see if we can get the superconductor superhighway of information in the best shape that it can be in. Okay, have a great week. Please like my video and subscribe to my channel. If you want more information on a private tuning, please visit RebeccaCarner.com and check in over the next couple of weeks and see where we go with the vagus nerve and what impact it has on your life going forward. Excellent. Have a great week, y'all. Thanks. Bye.